Essay examples. There are four main types of essays: narrative, descriptive, expository, and argumentative. Each has a unique purpose. Some tell a story, some are descriptive, and others attend to other opinions. One of the best ways to understand each type is to review a bit of each essay examples. Narrative essays. Narration means you're telling a story from a certain viewpoint, and there is usually a reason for the telling. All narrative essays have character, setting, climax, and importantly, a plot. The plot is the focus of the story, and it is usually revealed chronologically, but there are sometimes flash forwards and flashbacks. If you are looking to write a personal narrative essay, here are some tips to get you started. When you write a narrative essay, remember to including sensory and emotional details so the reader will experience the story, not just reading about it. Allow the story to support the point you are making and make a reference to that point in the first sentence, writing the first or third person. Examples of narrative essays. Reading for a literal storytelling. Here first up to light your creative fire. Looking back on a childhood filled with events and memories, I find it rather difficult to pick one that leaves me with the favorite or infusing feelings. As a tour of an Air Force major, I had the pleasure of traveling across America. In many moving trips, I have visited most trees of the secure national forest, studying on the edge of the Grand Canyon, and have jumped on the beds at Caesar Palace in Lake Tahoe. The day I picked my dug, dug up from the pond was one of the happiest days of both of your lives. I had gone to the pond just a week earlier with the idea that I would just look at a puppy. Of course, you can no more just look at this cunning little face, so filled with hope and joy that you can stop the sun from setting in the evening. I knew within minutes of walking in the door that I would get a puppy, but it wasn't until I saw him that I knew I had found my puppy. Looking for house was supposed to be a fun and exciting process. Unfortunately, none of the young ones that you say seemed to meet the specifications that you had established. They were too small, too in-person, too close to the neighbors. After days of finding nothing even close, we began to wonder, was there really a perfect house out there for us? The following is an example of a famous narrative written by Johnny Updike. Kirby fans be the kid idea. The afternoon gray, so glowing that in the 6 a.m. the arctic light turns on, always a one sight in the dark time, like the burning headlights of a funeral procession. Aided by the gloom, Fish was slicing through. The Sox Rooks and Williams did not come to bat in the 17th. He was second up in the 8th. This was a most settling his last time to come to the plate in a Fenway Park, and instead of immediately cheering as we had at his three previous appearances, we stood all of us and applauding. Descriptive essays. Descriptive essays describe the traits and characteristics of people, objects, events, and feelings in intricate detail. What's being described will be truthfully examining. For example, if you were describing roles, you might want to detail the origin, the appearance, the color, the fragrance. When you write a descriptive essay, you want to involve the reader's senses and emotions. For example, you could say, I got sleep, or you could write, while you're waiting for Santa, my wallet's cry heavy, the lights on the tree began to blur, and my head began to droop. The second concept provides vivid detail, allowing readers to feel like they are there. Examples of descriptive essays. We need to dive into the details. Here are three excepts brief of detail, like his twists and feeders, his many scores. The reliable word only choose the corners of weather beating, but sound the branch often. It's been accompanied to the wise alone with the night, and the last branch to crack in the heaviest wine. He often come to survive the fields and the clouds before his come, to listen to the stand sound of the stream passing through the winds on the bread. while combing his feathers for the winds wherever they might be. A sweet Ron standing community college made to spice up a first visit into a diner. What college specific things get? When he entered the door, it lost two things are immediately noticeable. The place is rarely empty and seems to consist of a maze of rooms. The first room through the door is the main part of the restaurant. There is another really isn't dining room off to the right. It was adding during the oil well boom of the 70s. Through the main dining room is yet another room. It's got a door leading into the kitchen. This room contains the most convenient table in the place. The highest three building low can be standing anyone is allowed in a set to sit at this table. This table is a family table. It reserved for Lowe's and Rodover, Karen's immediate family and treasures friends. Like the teen say above, this is except for the city clown stay. This presses up something as everyday's local pen shop. Billy Ray's pen shop and land mower repair looks like a burial ground for county auction rejects. The blazing red diesel fuel tanks beamed in front of the station, looking like a cheap lipstick against the palette. Wrinkled stacks of the parking lot sand, the were not much larger than the ends on a general Jeep Phantom high school on the north end of town, was framed with a rusty metallic heads of lawn mowers, banana seed bicycles, and corroding oil drums. It was the calico from a rustling parts, but rather than a course of weighting machinery that Billy Ray had arranged into sections. The yellow ticket mowers resting silently at the right of the diesel fuel. On the red now fading orange mowers stood at attention to the left. The other banners giant pieces with horse-bells like chimes when the wind was right. The back was periodically throughout the lot. In the middle of it all was the off-safe faded steel roof supported by cheap 2x4s and zero spinelli. Billy was at home, usually 5 blocks east of town on Canal Road. Expository says, compare, explore, and discuss problems, while there's a bit of a storytelling element to it. The purpose is greater than that. It always to explain some integral concept to the reader. It's just to inform, describe, and explain. When you write an expository essay, the text needs to be concise and easy to understand, offer different views on a subject, report any situation or event, explain something that may be difficult to understand. Examples of expository essays: willing to dive deep into a specific issue. Here are 3 examples that will show you how it's done. This family is a victim of a problem. They could have avoided the problem that, according to Florida park rangers, hundreds of visitors suffer each year, several times a month. Ranger Will Towers of Illinois State Park said, people get scared and leave the park in the middle of the night. Those people picked the wrong kind of park to visit. Not that there wasn't anything wrong with the park. The hikers came next to them, loved the wind insulation fit. But just when the kind of place the couple from New Jersey had in mind when they decided to camp out on the trip to Florida. The simple expository essay from two learners relies heavily on facts and instead to explain the important concept of cheating. Did you know that 7 out of 10 students have cheated at least once in the past year? Did you know that 15% of students have cheated more than twice? These shocking stats reference today of 9 million US high school students. Incredibly, teachers may even be encouraging the students cheating. Last year at a school in Detroit, teachers allegedly provided the students with answers to statewide standards tests. The University of Victoria used the sample essay to demonstrate the importance of straightforward, clarify, and expository essay. Throughout history and through a cross-section of cultures, women have transformed steel, appearing to conform to a built idea. Ancient Chinese aristocrats found the feet as a femininity. American and European women in the 180 times in the waist so tightly. Some suffered internal damage. In some African cultures, women continue to wear plates in their lower lips. continually stretching the skin to receive plates of larger size. The North American idea of beauty has continually focused on women's bodies. The tiny waist of the Victorian period, the boyish figure in vogue during the flapper era, and the voluptuous curves that were the measure of beauty between the 1930 and 1950. Korean students emphasize a transland look, one that ensures fitness, youth, and health. According to physical service coloring, have to be attractive at this time means unequivocally have to be thin in North America totally. Thinness is a precondition for being perceived by others in the unselfish health. However, this relative pursuit of thinness is not just an example for women try to look. The best is also stringing from control, acceptance, and success. In an argumentative say, the writer is trying to convince the reader of something. He or she will demonstrate the validity of falsity of a thought. The writer's position should be backed up with evidence, including stats or the opinion of experts. In this essay, the writer is merely offering an opinion, but making an argument for or against something, and supporting the argument with data. To an argumentative essay, it's important to resist and back up what you say in the text. For more detail, here are some argumentative essay writing tips. Examples of argumentative essays. We need time to stand your ground and make a strong case, allowing these accepts to help carry your study. Gun control has been a controversial issue for years. A vast majority of citizens believe that if gun control is strictly enforced, it would quickly reduce the rate of crime. Many innocent people feel they have the right to be armed for protection, or even for the purpose of hunting. These people penalized for protecting their lives, or even for enjoying common innocent sport. To enforce gun control throughout the nation means violating persons' constitutional rights. Although some people feel that the issue of gun control limits crime, the issue should not exclude the fact that guns are necessary for self-defense against crime, and enforcing gun control is violating the 22nd Amendment right to be armed. And I'm going to say from Boga CC University offers a bit of a dramatic flair, which is important to make a strong argument. Throughout the borders and box of drugs in your house, a new theory suggests that medicine could be better for your health, which at least comes good news to people who cannot afford to buy expensive medicine. However, it is a blow to the medicine industry and 1 minute, please. And then even big blow to confidence in the progress of science. This new theory argues that healing is at your fingertips. You can be helped by doing breaking on a regular basis. A safe base dives deeply into an argument touting the benefits of online games. Online games aren't just a diversion, but a unique way to meet other people, as millions of games demonstrating play online is about friendship and cooperation, not just killing monsters. These games are a viable social network because players focus on teamwork, form groups with like-minded people, and have romantic relationships with other players. Massively multiplayer online games, MMOGs, filter millions of players interacting in the same environment. The game is also social in nature, as they allow players to meet together and complete missions based on a storyline, or test their skills by fighting against each other. At the start of the game, the user creates a fictional character and customizes its physical appearance. Since many games involve combat, players also outfit the characters with armor and weapons, as well as choose the profession. Many popular game titles like World of Warcraft and the ever-questing Fallout fantasy theme. So most professions have magical abilities like healing other players or raising others' minions. While the process is simple, players may spend hours organizing of the perfect link for the character, from the armor color to the type of skills she uses in battle. Once the character is creating, the player's future explore the vast digital world and interact with other players. However, they must be on a very 15 and month for game content. MMOG uses mostly male users between the age of 18 and 34. The titles like World of Warcraft have a health for female players as well. With millions of players, there are plenty of people to adventure with. The pen is mightier than the sword. In this writing example, you can see how I say each of these things to propose. Sometimes writers' writing is only to offer facts and informative something. Other times they are seeking to change the tide of that make people's belief system is argumentative English never altered what Linton was kidding when he leave your said. The pen is mightier than the sword. With the life as right words in the world of ultimate comment, you can judge here. Shape other people's perception. You. Essay writing is something that may never leave your life. It's just here a few more results to float on down the river of change. Review the page of how to write an essay, and no matter the format or ways, remember your transition words.